Hey guys, good morning. I'm going to show you how to do some homework here. Today is Monday, April 13th, okay? And we're graphing quadratics again, okay? If you remember, we did this before spring break, and I gave you this paper right here. And I'm going to try to follow this paper as close as I can, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do the first problem on our homework for today. Okay, so let me get started here. I'm going to do this problem right here, number 1. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to try to follow the steps that I gave you. Alrighty, so, and I'm going to work on this paper right here, this scratch paper that I have. Let me move this up, okay? And the first thing you want to do on your steps, it says to make sure that it's in standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And if I look at this, and I see this y equals negative 2x squared minus 12x minus 17, okay? That's in standard form, okay? So I don't have to do anything to this original problem, okay? Now, see over here where it says A, B, and C, okay? This is A, that has the x squared. This is B, and this is C, okay? So what is A? A is a negative 2. So we got to put a negative 2 here. All right? That's what A is. B is a negative 12. Okay, so let's put a negative 12 there. And then C is a negative 16. I'm sorry, negative 17. Okay, negative 17. Now the interesting thing about C, when this is in standard form, is C is also the y-intercept, okay? So this one right here is the y-intercept. Now, remember that because I'm going to ask you that question on the quiz, okay? So the next thing it says, determine whether the parabola is a fill or spill. How do you determine whether it's a fill or spill? Think about that. What did we say last time when we were going through this? You see A right here? It has something to do with A. A is negative in this problem, correct? So if A is negative, like a negative 2, a negative 3, a negative 1, then it's going to be a spill. If A is a positive number, okay? A positive number, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? If that's positive, then it's going to be a fill. Okay, so in this case, because this is a negative 2, we have a spill. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little box around that. Now we got to figure out the vertex. Okay, so how do you figure out the vertex? Well, if you remember before, all right, we had a formula, and that's what this is right here. Find the formula, or use the formula, x equals negative b over 2a. So x equals negative b over 2a. All right. So if we go back here, you see b is a negative 12, right? So that right there, okay, sometimes we say opposite or negative. Sometimes kids say negative. So what's the opposite of negative 12? Positive 12. And then 2 times whatever a is. And remember, whenever we plug something in for a variable, see I'm plugging the negative 2 in for the variable, I have to use parentheses. And a lot of you guys are forgetting that, okay? So that's 12 divided by, and that when I multiply those together, I get negative 4. What's 12 divided by negative 4? 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3, okay? So the x value, okay, of my vertex is negative 3. Now interesting about that too is that's also our line of symmetry. Our line of symmetry is -3. Okay? Next, I need to find the y value of the vertex. Okay? And you notice that this starts with the letter y. See, it starts with the letter y. If I take this number here and I plug it in for x, where the two x's are, okay, I can find y. That's my dog right there. So y equals -2 times the quantity. Remember to put parentheses right here. Whatever x squared is, minus 12, and then parentheses, because you got an x there, minus 17, right? Now what number are we putting in here? We're taking this number right here that we found right here, this -3, we're putting that into the problem. Okay? So, now you have to follow your order of operations. So -3 squared is 9, right? And then 9 times -2, which would be -18, right? So you got -18 there. And here, that's going to give me positive 36, right? Positive 36. And then minus 17, right? All right. If I take these two right here and I add them up, okay, that's going to get me -35, right? So a -35 and a positive 36 will get me a 1, right? So the y is a 1. Now, when is y a 1? Y is a 1 when x is a -3. So we'll put a 1 right there. Okay? Now that's my vertex. Now, interesting thing also is, see this max or minimum? Okay? Let's take a look at this. Where's -3, 1? That's 3 to the left and 1 up, which would be right here, right? Okay. Now, since this is a spill, this is going to go down like this, right? Okay, it's going to go down. So that basically is the highest point. Highest means maximum. Now, you see the y value, the 1, that's as high as it goes. 1 as high as it goes. So we're going to put a 1 right there. Okay? Next. What's next? We need to find some more points. Okay? Got to find some more points. So let's go like this and let's make a table of values, right? And put the problem right here in the middle. There we go. And then this is going to be x and this is going to be y, right? Now we have to choose some numbers over here, and I'm going to choose just basically 2 numbers. Now, what numbers do I choose? Well, the way we would determine that is we look at our x value, okay? You have to pick 2 numbers that are higher than -3 or lower than -3, okay? Now I think what I say you should do, what's best to do is, since this is -3 right here, and this is my axis of symmetry right here, by the way. See that? That's my axis of symmetry, okay? I'm going to pick the numbers that are next to that axis of symmetry. So here's -3. I can go -2 or -1. Or I can pick -4 or -5 to put into my table of values. I'm going to choose -2 and -1 because those are smaller numbers. So I'm going to put -2 into the problem. And then after I do that, I'm going to put -1 into the problem. And we'll see what we come out with here, okay? Now, remember that when you plug in a -2 in for x, you need parentheses, okay? So that negative 2, I'm going to write that down, okay? I'll just write it down. Y equals negative 2. Now, insert this in for x. So we're going to put negative 2 there. In fact, let me do it in red. Negative 2, right, squared minus 12 times negative 2, and then that's going to be minus 17, right? Okay, so what do we get? So when I square negative 2, that's negative 2 times negative 2, that's 4. 4 times negative 2, and by the way, it's positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 2 would be negative 8. And then a negative times a negative is going to be a positive, so that's going to be a 24, right? And then a minus 17, right? Okay. If I take negative 8 and negative 17, I add those together, it gives me negative 25. And then I have a positive 24. That gives me a negative 1, right? So basically, what I did is I plugged in a negative 2, and what it came out with is negative 1, right? Now, when you think about it, where is that? Negative 2, negative 1. That would be right here, right? And remember, this says spill. Is it going down? Yeah, it looks like it's going down. Okay, let's try one more point. Okay, we'll put a negative 1 in this problem. This time I'm not going to write the y. So negative 2, and then parentheses, squared, minus 12, parentheses, minus 17. What are we putting in this problem? We're putting in this negative 1, okay, in here. Remember to put parentheses, okay? So negative 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And this is going to be two negatives which make a positive. That's going to be positive 12. And then that's minus 17. So minus 17. So a negative 2 and a negative 17, when I add those together, I get negative 19 plus 12. So how much is that when I add that together? That's going to give me negative 7, right? So negative 1 and negative 7. If I plot negative 1, negative 7, okay, so it's negative 1, 1 to the left, down 7, that's right here. Okay, next, I've got these points on the right-hand side of the parabola. Now I need to just copy this. So this is 1 unit to the right. If we go 1 unit to the left, it would be right there, correct? This is 2 units to the right of the axis of symmetry. So if I go 2 units to the left, it would be right there. Now, if you look at this, okay, and draw it in, you can see it's a parabola. Real nice parabola right there, okay? And it's symmetric. It's symmetric about the axis of symmetry, right? What the axis of symmetry cuts the parabola in half. See, it's cutting it in half at negative 3. It's the same on both sides, so that's why I can copy these points across from each other. Makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to pick too many points. Okay. Let's see, a couple more things here. Let's fill these in. Okay, the domain. The domain on this, what number can I put in for x's? I can go all the way this way, all the way that way. So it's going to be all reals. Range. Okay, that's the y value. Y has to be, since it's going downward, less than or equal to 1 here. Okay. See, 1 is the highest that it goes. So everything has to be below that. Y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is right there. It's the c value. Okay, it's minus 17. In other words, if we were to make this or extend this all the way down, the parabola would cross the y-axis at -17. Okay? So I hope that helps. There's 3 more problems on this page. I'd like for you to do those. We will have some questions on these problems tomorrow, so please do them. And have a great day, okay?